Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to the Adventures Travel Club television show. Betty, where are we?
We are in Venice, and it's exquisite, and I'm so excited.
That's right. I'll tell you, this is one city that I wanted to come to for a long, long time. And so we're going to take a tour not only in Venice, but we're going to be in all of Italy for the next few weeks. So we hope that you'll enjoy the show. Well, Betty, before we actually get to Venice, of course, we can see we have landed in we're in Germany because we're on Lufthansa, right?
Yeah,
we had to make a stop in Germany to change planes.
But you know, Lufthansa goes everywhere. We pick Lufthansa up in L.A., but that doesn't mean we're in Germany.
No, but I think that's where we are right now. Yeah, because they've got free coffee there at the airport.
Oh,
anyway,
you would know
Germany,
that.
We've headed on down very quickly, because we wanted to show you just a few. I can't get the teeth working today.
Well, Marv, you're just excited this morning.
This is such an exciting trip.
This is a fun trip.
This is Milan. This is Milan, Italy.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I've only been here a couple of times, but this time we got a chance to see things that I hadn't seen before. And I love the architecture. And we're going to go down, and you're not going to have a chance to see it, though, because they wouldn't let us shoot inside.
Oh, yes.
The Last Supper.
I've been there several times, and I had never seen it before. It was never available to us. No.
Well, I also have to apologize too. We've got a few little glitz in the tape. The camera acted up a little bit on us.
Now, this was the fun place.
Actually,
when we went there before, it was at soccer time. Do you remember?
I remember. The teams
Oh
were in
my
there having a
gosh,
ball.
they were really having fun.
That was just great. And the La Scala Opera House is right behind us, and we're in sort of like a main square right here, and this is sort of a galleria. You walk through that galleria, and then on the left-hand side, you see the Il Duomo, or the Cathedral of Milan, which, of course, is absolutely incredible. I just love this place.
Marv, what's El Duomo? Is that the dome? Is that referring to the dome?
You would ask me that, wouldn't you, huh? You're going to put me on the spot. I'm going to answer your question. Yeah, I think so.
Well, that's the way the questions come to me. I just think about them, and out they come.
There's another dome right here.
Yeah.
And the shopping was beautiful.
But the shopping, and they had some excellent, exquisite shops for clothing shops and jewelry stores.
Here are a couple of guys with their swords there.
Yeah.
They were how do you call it? Carabinieri? Is that how you pronounce it?
Well, if you say so.
If you
say so, yeah. I believe you.
Well, there it is. There it is.
Well, it can't be for the dome, because there really isn't a dome on the cathedral. There are all kinds of spires.
Oh, yeah.
But
and the gargoyles. And look at this gargoyle right here.
Isn't he amazing? That is a mime.
Yeah, I know.
Look at that. Did I spoil it by saying it right away? I shouldn't have.
Absolutely right.
He was wonderful.
This guy was really
just
good.
Wonderful.
There were several of these around as we traveled around.
A la San Francisco too. That's where you see them so much.
And they probably make some fairly decent money. As you see right there in the middle, there's a golden.
The golden arches?
No, that's a golden statue. But I wanted to show you some of the gargoyles here. And you know what those are? Those are water spouts. So the water comes out in a way.
Very clever.
Yeah, okay.
Very clever.
So now we have left Milan, and it's quite a long bus ride because we're going over some of the water right now. And here we are getting in our boats in beautiful Venezia.
Now, we're getting in our boats here, if I'm not mistaken, to get to our hotel.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you could get to your hotel was by these little, I don't call them a boat. What are they?
Well, little launches.
Launches.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's at 12 o'clock. That's when you have lunch.
This is a different launch.
All right.
Anyway,
but look, isn't that exciting?
Oh, I have wanted to go here for such a long time, and this is just, to me, it's really, really thrilling.
It's go back again time, isn't it, when you see these, really, huh?
I'm ready. There's the police boat right there, or launch. And looking right in some of these beautiful homes and palaces that are here on the canal, and you can sort of look inside and see.
They don't pull their drapes at night.
No, they don't have to. I don't
know,
think.
it gets far enough up. You're just looking You're looking up
Yeah,
into
right.
it, but you're not looking down into it. That would be different.
Look at that bridge.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
Isn't it romantic?
Oh, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely incredible. And you know what? I'm so glad, Betty, that we got there at nighttime. I mean, this was because it was so impressive to get there at nighttime.
Yeah. Well, we had a long day, and we were real happy to get there night or morning or whatever.
Right,
It was,
but
'cause-
I'll tell you, we waited a long time because we're going to have dinner European style.
Yeah, hi, good evening. Oh, I'm a movie star. I'm gonna be a movie star, yeah?
Well, this guy was the maitre d'. Anyway, we had dinner that night, and now we're, by the magic of television, having breakfast the next morning, and we stayed at this exquisite little hotel, and they had wonderful little breakfast for us in the morning. Remember this?
I
Oh,
liked
so
every
good.
bit of it, Marv. I just thought every bit of it was just so
This is the outside
so
of
nice.
our hotel. Our hotel's right here on the right.
We were so lucky. Do
it
you
was
know
great.
to be able to stay right on the island? I remember our tour guide said, you must have some influence with somebody because hardly anybody in a tour gets to stay here on the island itself.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. I think that this was just one of the most marvelous trips that we've ever taken, and to start it off here was just great. Excuse me. This is just one of the many, many little canals that you see. We're walking over now. We're going to walk over to St. Mark's Square, I think. But look at these boats. You know, what surprised me was, and what we saw when we first came in that night, the police boats that were
Patrolling,
out there too.
yeah.
Patrolling.
There's a guide. He was so good. There's Marv's. That's your sister,
Yeah,
right?
right. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and Peggy there that comes with us so often, and Stephanie
had a
Bradshaw.
great group of people.
Yeah,
I'll
we
tell
did.
you, this was
and Father
fabulous.
Blessing went with us on
Right.
this trip, and he was so thrilled with it, having been not really been any place. His first passport, his first trip outside
Yeah.
of the United States.
Yeah,
it was fun for him.
All of it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, we did a lot of walking, and there you can see the tower, the campanile, I guess, of St. Mark's Square, and this is incredible. We're going to go over to the Doge's Palace here in just a moment. And again, I have to explain, they won't let you take pictures in all of these places. We find that more and more as we travel now. There are many, many places where on the inside you can't take pictures. Of
Sure,
course
they
you
want
can
to
on the
sell
inside.
postcards.
Yeah, well,
I mean, if
can't
you
blame
take
people.
no.
Heck, if I owned a palace like that and I was going to charge admission, I'd say, leave your cameras out there. I've got a lovely book I can sell
I'll
you.
sell you cheap, huh?
Anyway, here we go. We're in this little courtyard, and we're going to sort of join our guide right here. And there we can see the outside of the palace right here.
Look at the style of this building. It's Venetian Gothic style. We start with this part in the middle of the 14th century. Then this part was added a century later in the same style. And what we are going to see now was redecorated inside after a terrible fire at the end of the 16th century. The law will control you in an incredible way upstairs. No pictures and no videos. Don't ask me why, because you can imagine the reason. But in the city of the Merchant of Venice, copyright.
Isn't that beautiful? Oh,
Yeah.
Betty, I'll tell you, this is, and these courtyards in here. Look at that gondola. How about that one? There it is.
Everything about it was just picture perfect.
Well, we've left the Doge's Palace because we couldn't see any more of the inside, but we stopped here at one of the glass factories. Now, glass factories seem to be all over the place, and this was one of the main ones that was right here, right at
In
St.
the
Mark's
town,
Square.
yes, yeah.
In fact, we're going to go to Murano factory after a little while too, but we found that the prices were a little less expensive here in town where the shopping was. I was surprised.
But no, it's a guy told us at Verano that they get some of the rejects.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like seconds,
Huh.
and that are sold there. Or at least maybe
Oh,
that's what.
I
Maybe he
didn't
just
know
said
that.
that, but that's what he said.
I
Yeah.
don't know. That's
Yeah.
a beautiful eagle there. It just and look at their.
Did you buy anything?
You know what? I have several pieces from Murano, and one of them that matches this one that you see
That
right
horse.
there. That horse,
Yes.
which is broken, unfortunately. And in my house, that happens quite frequently.
Yeah, but you didn't do it.
No, I didn't do it, and I asked the guy when we got to Murano. I said, "Can these pieces be fixed?" And he said, "Yeah, they can be." Oh, it was okay because when I saw the prices now, in
Yeah,
Italy,
yeah.
I said, I don't think that should be in my home. It should be in a safe. I had no idea they were worth what they are.
Well, improve with age,
Oh,
all
yes,
things do.
beautiful.
Except people.
Well, now we have gone into into St. Mark's, and here's Father blessing. We're having a mass, and this is sort of in the, I would say, the crypt area, and it was beautiful. It was a great experience for us there. And as we're continuing now, we can see these little. Betty, would you call those water taxis? Again, that's a police
Absolutely.
department.
Yeah, no,
you know.
yeah, but they are. They're water taxis.
And you know,
No, but not that one back there.
the gondola. No, did you ever ride in one of those?
Yes, I did. Well, yeah. I mean,
I
that's
didn't
part
ride
of
in
going
one.
to. Well,
I didn't do it.
you weren't there. But that's part of the romance of Venice is to get in the. But they're not all that great, really.
Well, only if the guy would sing or something. I mean, you know,
Well, we
a
helped.
boat's a boat.
We helped him.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
Oh,
we
okay. Well,
helped
I didn't do
him.
it. That, see, that's why I've got to go back to Venice and then, you know,
So,
take a
and
ride in the
we'll-
gondola.
Okay, just to ride the gondola, huh?
Right. And here's one of the guys who was helping get these little launches out there. We had a lot of help. It was really wonderful and so efficient. So we're going to get in 2 of these. Now, we had enough people with us, so we're going to leave the main part of Venice, and we're going to go over to some of the other islands.
Weren't we leaving from our hotel there?
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
our
we
hotel
were.
was
Our
just-
hotel was just you
just
just
a few
walked
steps,
a couple
yeah.
of steps, and that was our hotel. We
It
were
was
right
marvelous.
on the bank. It
You
was
know, when
fantastic.
When we go back, I
location.
want to stay at that same
I
hotel.
have it. I have it. I
that
have it.
hotel was
But
wonderful.
if we could be so lucky again, huh? 'Cause
Well,
usually
sometimes you
they're
have to make
much
your
more.
own luck.
Yeah, usually they're much more expensive. Much
Oh, this
more.
but this hotel was absolutely. I thought it was just
Well,
absolutely.
they owed
perfect.
me something.
They did.
They owed me something. So I guess maybe that was the
That was
payoff.
it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's hope next time we go back they owe you some
No,
more.
I don't want. I don't want them to owe me anything. Let's just leave it the way it is, okay?
There's so much to see, of course, as we're going through these canals, and you can see there's a restoration work which is going on everywhere, naturally, but we
course
see
you-
some of it here as well.
You know, it's sinking. Venice is sinking, and there's a really big problem.
Well, but they are working on that.
They're working on
You
it,
know.
but whether they're going to eventually find the solution or not.
You know what
because-
always was in my mind is, hey, what do you do when it comes to like high tide or something like that? I mean, you know, because the water level, you know.
You go up to
rises
the
and lower.
second story.
Oh, is that what you? Oh, okay. And
No,
take your shoes off.
Not really.
huh?
Actually, we're going to see a little bit of that
Yeah, I think
later
we
on.
will
You
when
know
we
what
get over to one of
happens.
the other
Yeah.
islands. Okay,
uh-huh.
now we have just left the main part of Venice, and we're in another. This is not a canal. We're out in the sea a little bit, as you can see right here. And again, I have to apologize for some of the jerkiness on this, but my camera was not doing too well. It suffered a little jet lag on the first days over. So, but as we get into our trip, I think it'll get a little.
No,
bit
well, you're on rough water. What do you expect?
No. It was the camera that was.
Was
doing
it the
Yeah.
camera? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
see, as you
All
can see
right.
that.
Oh,
So
that little
It's
blip.
not your television set. Yeah,
Okay.
it was the actually.
Don't
the-
adjust your set.
Don't
It
adjust
does.
your adjust my camera instead. Here we see there's more renovation going on there too, and this was some of the people that were in my boat. And Betty, I think you had the other
I was
ones
the
in
other
your- in
boat,
yours,
yeah.
So now we are on the island, and we're going to Murano, Italy, and we're going to go to another glass factory here, which was really quite large.
On liquid side, by 1400 degrees centigrade, send all to a power of 4.
So he explained to us a lot, and we just took a little bit of that on videotape. The guy over here that you see in the shirt is an apprentice to the master who's over here doing this beautiful glasswork, as you can see right here. And we stood around for a little bit longer. They gave us a nice little demonstration. And then the apprentice decided, okay, I guess as long as these guys are here, I'm going to make something as well. And he made
That's
a
the
little,
young man.
Yeah. And you know, they still do that in
Now
so
that's-
many
that's-
countries. You
that's
know, you
not
have
him.
no,
No,
that's not it.
excuse
That's
me.
the older. That's the
Okay.
master.
Okay.
But now here's the
Yeah,
apprentice right
yeah.
here. And it surprised me that, I mean, they work so quickly with, I guess you have,
You have
with
to, or-
molten
or-
glass,
yeah.
don't you? It dries on you, and then all of a
But
sudden.
look at the artistry of that. You know,
It's great.
as soon as it's hot, then you move it. And sometimes they get it half finished and one leg breaks off or
Yep.
whatever, and they,
And
have,
then they have to do it all
melt
over
it
again.
and start all over
Well, see, he
again.
made this little horse right there, and he just did this in a matter of just a few minutes.
Isn't that something?
That's beautiful. I just think that's really great. So that was nice. And
Ray,
elephants.
there's old Ray Bine. He collects them, or actually Rita collects them, and
the
he was
elephant.
going to try to sneak and find one for her.
For her?
But yeah.
Well, look at the elephants. He's got a good
Yeah.
selection right there. He did buy one for
Yes,
her,
he
didn't
did. Yes, he did. They're not cheap.
Uh,
Nothing's cheap here.
Nothing is cheap. No,
No.
let's face it. Nothing is cheap. And when you buy something like this, you're going to have a treasure for a lifetime. So
I have a piece at home that is a swan, like a candy dish that was given to my mother and father on their 50th wedding anniversary.
Really? See,
I
it's
never
nice.
thought too much of it, but now
But you better now,
I
huh?
now I
Yeah.
appreciate it more all the time.
and I like these pieces too. You know, if you had the money and you had a big enough place, I mean, to display all of this, I kept thinking, oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
But where do you put it?
Yeah,
I mean, where do you put it? Look at those elephants.
I
Aren't
think
those
it can be overdone. You know,
Well,
a couple
you
of
know,
pieces is fine.
Yeah,
but
or
they
one
are
piece.
beautiful.
They
They
are
are
beautiful.
beautiful.
I mean, I was so impressed with this. And there, I should explain too. We're just showing you just kind of the tip of the iceberg because there was showroom after showroom after showroom. I mean, this place took up like an acre or so with the various things that they had. But anyway, it's time for us to move on.
Oh, okay. I have a Madonna that from there too that I bought
Out of
on one
glass?
of the trips. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, we should explain that's all crystal.
Yes.
Too. I mean, you know, it's just not ordinary window glass. Hey, these guys are moving freight over here, as we can see. And again, I was wondering, you know, well, I guess they've got to use a boat for everything. Anyway, we're going to go on to another island, and one of our guys just lost his hat. He just had it on, and bingo, it flew off, and everybody's having a big time.
Big laugh over
Yeah,
that,
We
sure.
really did. We had no idea that these boats were going to go this fast. Anyway, now we have come to another little island, and this is Burano. And we see here that we're looking into a men's club right here, the social club, as we can see right here. Betty, I was so impressed with it. Look at these brilliant
the
colors
colors.
that the people painted their houses.
And
Isn't
you
that
know,
something?
they're only assigned certain colors. You can't just paint it any color that you want.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's how you are identified. But I think the guide tells us something about this later.
They says that we use so bright color because we easily get drunk. Eating busalai and drinking sweet wine. So with those colors we find easier the way home.
Now this guy just showed up. I mean, and he wasn't an official guide. He just saw our group, and so we just sort of stayed
came
with him for a
along.
little bit.
Yes, money to spend. Maybe you can buy a house here. To buy a house in Burano costs nothing. I'm talking about $600 a square foot.
Square foot?
Yes, 6,000 euros a meter. 6,000 euros. It's crazy. Like to buy a house in Carmel, California.
Well, Betty, now you can buy a place over there. You know how much it's going to cost.
Isn't that amazing? You know, that's a lot of money. A
Well,
square foot.
Hey, wouldn't you love to live in a place like
But they
this?
don't have they don't have much footage.
No, that's for sure.
Okay, I want to show you something else. Look at there in front of that door. In Burano, we have the same problem as Venice. So from October to May, 2 times a day, it could plant twice a day. Then it depends from the moon and from the seed. But when it plants everywhere in Burano. So we use that in front of the doors. We put that because it keeps the water out. It helps a little bit.
Well, there we could see that you put the little thing there in front of your door, and so then when the water does come up, he says it did keep some of it out, but not all of it.
And that's at high tide.
Yeah, and that happens evidently a couple of times during the day, evidently. Anyway, look at the beautiful flowers, Betty. This was such a vibrant little place. It was just so nice. We really had a great time here. Now this is sort of the main canal, I think, of the village that is right here. We had ice cream, and this place is also known, of course, for its lace, and we're going to go into a little lace shop here after a little bit so you can see one of the ladies working with that as well. And you see the bell tower there, often it's leaning off to one side. But anyway, our unofficial guide was here, and he was so nice, and he was giving us the lay of the land and told us what to see and where to go. And I thought it was so nice of the Italian people to do that, you know?
Each piece is made by 7 different women, and each woman is specialized on one particular stitch. First of all, we draw a design in a very thin paper. We put some yellow paper underneath so we can see better the design, and some fabric. And we stitch everything together following the design by machine. So we make the base for the handwork. After 7 different women using only needle and thread, they make the handwork. And when they finish, we cut the base, we cut the machine stitch between the yellow paper and the fabric, and you have only the lace by hand.
One pretty sales girl, huh?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I know why you got all of her
Well,
explanation,
I only
because you
bought
liked
about
what you were looking at.
$400 worth of lace. No. Yeah, no, and they were so nice in that shop too. I did buy a few things in there, but it wasn't lace. This is, I think, the main square.
It's like
the main
almost like
piazza,
a plaza
yeah.
or whatever, wherever you happen to be.
Because the church is over here on one side, and then of course there are more things here. Now the shops, though, there were a couple of them here, but they were mainly down over on the water.
This was actually a funny story, because when we came here, we came over free on the one, the little taxi took us here, and we had a terrible time. Do you remember trying? I hope you have this. Of getting home, because they weren't there to take us to come back, and we couldn't swim.
Right. Hey, listen. He said. Remember, he told us a story about everybody knows what color and what underwear everybody in the village is wearing. I had to get that shot.
That was good, because by the color of your house, you see, and you hang your clothes out, and they can say, oh, well, that's those people that live there. They wear the such and such and such. Yeah, that's cute.
Okay. Well, now we've gone back to St. Mark's Square, and this is St. Mark's Cathedral, as you can see right here. The beautiful mosaics that are there is just really wonderful. It was a little bit later in the day. Most of the people went to the hotel, but I decided, well, it's about the only time that I'm going to have to get over here and really try and get some more shots. Again, it would not let us shoot inside the cathedral, except what we saw. We were able to when we had the mass down in the basement or in the crypt. That was about the only time that we were able to do that.
We're able to see more by you doing this than we were able to do when we were standing there looking at it, because you focused in on it, and so it's a real treat to have you do that for us.
Well, it was wonderful. I decided, hey, I don't know when I'm coming back. I want to see as much as I can. Look at this. Isn't this cute?
Oh, I think it's disgusting.
What?
Oh, I think birds are dirty.
Oh, that's
I
right.
would
You
no
don't
more.
like birds.
And I would no more have my child sitting among all those birds. They carry disease. I mean, it's picturesque, sure, but
it's very picturesque.
Forget it. It's for the birds.
Anyway, went up on top of the bell tower of the Campanile, and now looking sort of straight down. And you can see the square from the bird's eye view, Betty. There we go. I want to explain, too, that a lot of these little restaurants down there, which you'll see after a bit, they have musical entertainment. It's wonderful. They really know how to
Are you sure
treat
that's
people.
not a postcard that I'm looking at?
No. And as you see on the top of the screen,
Yes.
that's the area that we went out when we went in the water to go over to Murano and Burano. It was in that direction over there. And, of course, a lot more churches. And we're looking down. You can see the
there's the dome.
palace there in front of us, and on the left-hand side, you're seeing the church. So again, the bird's eye view from there. This was really something. I thought it was amazing to be able to come up here and to just enjoy this. There were a lot of people that were up there, but it was kind of getting late in the day, so we really didn't have a lot of crowds to fight.
You'd never realize the scope of Venice until you get up there, and because when you're on the ground, it's also compressed. You're on a canal, and you're looking at the narrowness of everything.
That, I believe, is St. George's Island that we can see off there. And look at, again, there's your little gondolas. I want to say canoes, but that's not. Your little gondolas that are lined up there that will take people out and about. And of course, there are all sorts of little ferry boats that are running all over the place as well.
I think the gondolas are gondolas. I say you say
Gondolas.
gondola, whatever.
Whatever.
Well, you say gondola,
Da-da,
I'll say
da-da,
gondola,
da-da,
la-da. But you think of them mostly in the canals, the narrow confines where they go between the buildings and things, and sing "Oh Solo Mio," golly.
Well, I'll say that for the next time. Anyway, these other shots, of course, things that you wouldn't see too well from the ground, and these are the close-ups of the bells that are up here in the belfry.
We never heard the tintinnabulation of the bells.
I did.
We? Did you really?
Yeah, I stayed around later, and fortunately, they didn't go off while I was still up there. But as I got down back into the square again, I guess it was 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever it was, and the bells started to ring again. But I've always wanted to visit this place because that was the name I took at confirmation.
Oh, Venice?
No, Mark. Venice.
That
would
Saint
be a
Venice.
funny name for a confirmation name, wouldn't it be? Venice.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I
Thank
don't
you.
know. It's not much different than some of the names they come up with today. You
Oh,
know.
that's true.
So anyway,
Yeah. but-
you just led into that.
Yeah. Anyway, look here. Now we're getting the not so bird's eye view from here. They had a museum over here too, which we did not have a chance to go to because it just didn't have enough time on this particular trip. But next time, that's one of the places that I would like to visit is the museum. There were so many things to see, and we were here. What did we were here? 2 days? Was it? We two nights at the hotel? Was it? I think.
If you say so.
I think so. I was just trying to remember. And I guess maybe the birds got me a little confused. I'm not quite sure. But look at that, boy. These little guys are vultures.
There's so many. Well, there
hungry.
are so many of them. It's a marvelous place for them because tourists feed them, and they
course.
know that they're in for a good meal when they come there. And they sell the seed.
Do they?
Right there, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, for
okay.
you.
Well, the
But
kids are sure having. Oh, you're right. Look, the kids have got
Little
the
bags of
food.
seed.
Yeah.
Well, where else did we go that they fed? Was it in China? I don't know. Somewhere that we were.
Yeah, you see music over here. Again, it was just early evening, late afternoon. And so there was music at one of the cafes, and you look across the way, and there's music on another one. In fact, I think there were about 3 of them that were going on or just about to go on. And I was stood there for a little while, and I thought, I can't stay too late because we got to get back to the hotel for dinner.
But
I didn't want to miss that.
There weren't too many people.
No, there weren't.
And
no.
I don't remember the month that we went. Do you remember the time of the year?
May.
Was it May?
Yep.
And so by that was kind of like an off season, and there's many advantages at going that time of the year because you don't have the crowds and it is less expensive.
Right. And we just had dinner there, as you can see. And right here, this is how they pick up the garbage. Anyway, it's time for us to go, but we'll see you next time in Venice. Betty, give them your phone number.
My phone number, 559-488-7443.
So give Betty a call because we've got a lot of trips that are coming up, and we think that you're going to enjoy them. Give Betty a call just as soon as you can. Hey, we'll see you next time back in Venice. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.